Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to code, stop for three. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same power at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DPTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr Boyce TV.
Hey, what's happening, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, the Black Business School. And I'd like for you guys, as you come into the chat, to first of all say hello, and also to hit the thumbs up button as you come through the door. Please hit the thumbs up button. Hey, Polo P, what's going on? And I want to apologize to you guys for this morning. For some reason, the sound went crazy. And let me know if you guys will be able to are able to hear. Give me a yes. Will be able to give me a yes if you can hear me and you can see me. Just throw a yes in the chat if you can hear me and you can see me. Tyler Wilson, Conscious One. Okay, I see you guys in here. All right. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. Okay, if you can see me and hear me, just say something in the chat. Give me a yes or a no if you can see me or hear me clearly. All right. So what's going on, DDS? How are you? Yeah. So today I had an interesting topic I wanted to try to discuss. It has to do with the rapper Nas. The rapper Nas is a great artist. I respect him. He's a good brother. He seems decent, as a human being. I don't know him personally, though. Never met him. And I had to find a good way to hit this topic because you guys know I'm not scared to hit on any topic in terms of, just dealing with it, whatever comes with it. I know some people aren't going to be happy with what you say, and that just comes with the territory. But I wanted to address something that I just saw about him making this special deal with Hennessy. Give me a yes or no if you saw the deal where the rapper Nas made with Hennessy, where he's going to basically go to different HBCUs and he's going to empower the students through a Hennessy scholarship. Give me a yes or no if you saw that. Hey, what's going on, Jackie? Jackie says no. She Beat says from Belgium. Oh, that's what's going on. I love it. You're all the way in Belgium. I think that's great. Give me a yes or no if you're aware that Nas is doing a deal with Hennessy. Okay, I see. Let's see. I see a lot of no's. Mark Jackson says yes. All right, and so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to try my best to talk about this topic in a way that where I can say what needs to be said and still be loved. I want to be able to say this and still be loved. Because black folks get real pissed off when it seems like you're taking a shot at one of their heroes or somebody that they feel can do no wrong. And I'm not taking a shot at Nas at all. In fact, I like Nas a lot as an artist. I assume he's a good person. And I think he's a very smart businessman. That's why he's not broke like all these other rappers, right? But, sometimes the truth ain't easy. The truth ain't fun. The truth ain't free. And sometimes the truth hurts a little bit. And, and basically that's what I got to do. I got to give you the truth. So if you want the truth, just say yes. Give me a yes or no if you want me to give you the truth or if you want me to lie to you. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Do you want me to give you the truth or do you want me to tell you a lie? Because I can tell you a lie. I can tell you that everything's cool. I can tell you that I have no issues. I can tell you that Nas is dope, and I can tell you that that Nas is kicking ass. That this is great. Big ups to Nas. Way to go, brother. I love it, man. Black excellence, y'all. For real. I can do that. I can play that game. I can play that shit, right? I can do that, right? I can literally come in here and tell you a bunch of lies about about what I think about Nas as a person and allow that to lead me to give him a complete pass on something that does not make me very comfortable, something that kind of bothers me a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start off in terms of the premise to help you understand where I'm coming from by quoting something I heard from Malcolm X. I'm going to start with a Malcolm X quote so you understand where I'm coming from with this. Malcolm X used to say, he used to have a saying that the white man will sell you the liquor bottle and then lock you up for being drunk. He said, white folks will, in order to entrap the black male and to get him to destroy his life and to get him to volunteer for prison or death or slavery, which can all come in the same package, he will sell you the liquor bottle and lock you up for being drunk. And that's how American capitalism sometimes works. You have the situation where, they'll sell you the thing that makes you sick, and then they'll sell you the antidote that makes you better or whatever. They'll sell you the donuts and the fatty food and the candy at the front of the grocery store, and then they'll sell you the medication, the diabetes medication in the back, right? And that's kind of what I think about when I think about this topic today. So Nas has this deal with Hennessy, and it's really fascinating because basically Hennessy is a smart company. Hennessy makes well over $1 billion a year. They're not black owned, so just be clear about that. But I'm not hating on Nas because they're not black owned. I'm just saying that this as a matter of fact, right? They're not a black owned company. And they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money by selling their product all around the world to different kinds of people, some black, some not. It is cool. We know black people kind of like Hennessy, like Henny. We talk about the Henny. We have a nickname for it, right? We have a term of endearment for Hennessy. See, somebody already said Boyce is a narcissistic hater. So I can dig it, man. I can dig it. You can't come back to my channel, you little bitch, but I can dig it. You have a right to have that perspective. But you got to come in here with respect. If you can't be respectful, then you got to go. Here's the deal. We love our Popeye's chicken. Which is killing us. We love our liquor, which is killing us. We loved, when the drug epidemic was going on, we loved our drugs, right, which was killing us and destroying families. And the thing about alcohol is this. Let me make this point this way. Give me a yes or no in the chat. How many of you have ever had a relative who has had an alcohol problem? Anybody ever have like a drunk ass uncle, who was always drunk all the time, like literally woke up in the morning smelling like vodka? Anybody ever have a drunk ass uncle? Maybe a drunk ass father, maybe a drunk ass mother, right? Has anybody ever seen up close what a family looks like when you're devastated by alcohol? I had an uncle that I loved very, very much. He's dead now. He died before he was 50. He died in his late 40s. And the way he died, and I was very close to him. Let me just start. I grew up with him. He was one of the first human beings I ever met in my life. I loved him before I knew what it was like to love another person. I was very close to him. He was like an older brother. His name was Donald. He was 8 years older than me. And I did everything I could. I followed him around. I always wanted to be around him. I loved him very dearly. And I remember when he was a teenager and he started drinking. And then, smoking a little weed, because that's what the older black men around him were doing. So he just kind of did what the OGs were doing, right? Like, hey, come on, little nigga. He drink some of this. Come on, little nigga. He hit this. Look at him, man. He choking on the weed, right? They thought that shit was funny. And he was introduced to alcohol very early, probably 2-3 years old, because they thought it was cute to watch a 2-year-old baby stumble around because he's drunk. They thought that was cute, right? Well, all through those years, I experienced more disappointment than you could ever imagine. I mean, imagine the guy that you look up to more than anybody disappointing you at every available turn. Not being able to be responsible, not keeping his commitments, not taking care of his kids, not being able to come through, not being the strong rock that you need in your life, none of that stuff. In fact, with him, I became the older brother when I was about 9. He was 8 years older than me, but about 9 or 10, I realized, okay, wait, I got to take the wheel in this thing, because he ain't really gonna be, much of an older brother for me. I got to become the older brother up in this motherfucker. Like, that's what I had to be. And so I watched him stumble through life, and if you want to know how he died, I mean, I'm talking about years of unemployment, didn't take care of his kids, in and out of jail, homeless. And then one day he just, the police say it was a suicide. I don't know. All I know is that one night when he's homeless, it's wintertime, he's walking around, it's cold, he's drinking liquor to stay warm, because he was a big time alcoholic by this point. And he just lays down in the street. Somehow he ends up in the street. I don't know if he passed out, fell down, or laid down. The stories are mixed. And he got ran over by a truck, and the truck dragged him 70 feet. Now it would have been nice. It'd be a nice, clean story if he'd actually died that night. It'd be different if he actually died, but he didn't die. He got dragged 70 feet down the road, and he didn't die. He hung on to life. He died 3 times on the operating table as they were trying to give him brain surgery and spinal cord surgery. 2 different surgeries, 2 different serious surgeries, all within a 24-hour period. He had to get spinal cord surgery because he was paralyzed from the waist down. He had to get brain surgery because he had been dragged 70 feet by that truck and it gave him severe brain damage. And on top of that, because he lived his life in a certain way, like a lot of the black men in our families, we have a lot of black men in our families who disappoint us. He had no health insurance. So he was in a wheelchair, in and out of whatever nursing home would take him. And then eventually he died 3 years later, 3 long years later, from a series of infections that came from the fact that the nursing home was such a raggedy ass nursing home. They didn't take care of him the right way. So that was my introduction to alcohol. And that wasn't the only alcoholic I had in my family. I could probably tell you about 5 or 6 more stories like that. But I'm not going to tell more stories like that because I don't want to put my family on blast. I just want to ask you this. I need to ask you guys this. But as I'm sure somebody's going to call me a hater because it's going to sound like I'm dissing Nas. And I ain't dissing Nas, man. Nas is a great rapper. But I need to ask you. Has anybody else ever seen up close in their own family the devastation that can be caused by alcohol? Can anybody, when I tell you that terrible story, that disappointing story, are you able to relate to that on any level? Have you seen a black male have you been up close to watch a black man just literally die right in front of you, even though he's still walking around and breathing, but he's dead on the inside? He ain't shit. Can't depend on him for shit. Kids are disappointed as shit. Family sad as shit. Creating more problems like a motherfucker, just worthless, just ain't adding fucking shit to the family. So if you ever want to know why I'm so hard about black men being strong stand-up men, it's because I grew up trying to look up to a black man who I could not look up to. All I was able to do was look down at him because there was nothing to look up to, and he was 6'4", but it's shorter than a midget, 6'4", but as tall as a mouse. So I share this with you to help you understand why it concerns me deeply when I see somebody like a Nas, who I admire tremendously, basically going out and promoting alcohol, Hennessy, the white man's liquor. This ain't a black-owned company, promoting Hennessy to HBCU students. I know people drink. I know they drink. I ain't stupid. I know people go to the club. I know people live it up. They do their thing. That club culture is big in the black community. That's one thing we know how to do, is party and fucking pop bottles and shit. We know how to do that, especially if you're buying white man's liquor. We just, that's what we live for, some of us. Not all of us, but some of us do. That's what we celebrate in the media, right? But I think that there's something to be said in terms of at least me stepping out here, and I'm going to step out here, and I'm willing to be the hater who does this. I'm willing to be the guy who's going to get the backlash because black people, studies show that we worship celebrities. We believe celebrities, are gods, and nobody criticizes a celebrity. But I'm not criticizing Nas. What I'm doing is I'm trying to educate you on basically why, if you really look at the studies, what you will find is that those who promote alcohol are no different from dope dealers. They're no different from crack. In fact, they're worse than crack dealers. And let me tell you why they're worse than crack dealers. Did you guys know that scientists have done studies to determine which drug is the most dangerous drug in the world? Did you know this? And when they found out which drugs were the most dangerous drugs in the world, they looked at heroin, they looked at crack, they looked at powder cocaine, they looked at crystal meth, they looked at weed, they looked at OxyContin. And do you know that alcohol was rated as a more dangerous drug than all of those things? It was rated more dangerous than crack, heroin, and all the drugs that you associate with all these terrible things. Now, why is that so surprising for some people? Well, it's because alcohol has been deemed to be safe because it's accessible and it's legal. You think that because the government didn't make it illegal, but think about this. Cannabis is not that dangerous. Cannabis, I don't smoke it because I'm not trying to be all like lazy-eyed and tired and shit. But cannabis, actually has healthy and healing properties sometimes. I don't believe in smoking it every day. I'm telling you, if you're smoking weed every day, I believe you're gonna be a step behind most of the time, but that's on you. And also you smoke that synthetic shit, that should have you out here eating your damn children and looking crazy if you're not careful. But even weed is not a problem, as far as drugs go. Weed was just labeled dangerous because they made it illegal and people thought that it was more dangerous than alcohol, whereas alcohol runs around scot-free doing all kinds of damage and nobody says a word. So before I move on, please do me a favor real quick. Let's do our Black Power exercise. On the count of 3, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and notification bell, and type Black Power in the chat to let me know that it's done. Let's do this right now. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, type Black Power in the chat, type Black Power to let me know that it's done. Okay. All right. Now let me move forward in this. Okay, so more specifically, according to let's see, let me read about Nas's deal. And I'm happy Nas is getting money, and I'm not hating on Nas, and Nas is not the only one promoting liquor, so I'm not vilifying him in any way. I am just appealing to the public to understand the reason why this rubs me the wrong way. According to Black Enterprise, legendary hip-hop artist Nasir Nas Jones has teamed up with Hennessy and the Thurgood Marshall Fund to uplift graduate students of color attending historically black colleges and universities. The Queens-born rapper can be heard narrating a video promoting the Hennessy Fellows Program, a $10 million scholarship initiative launched earlier this year to empower young African-American leaders through financial assistance, access, and real-world experience. So basically what they're doing is it's basically like Nino Brown from New Jack City. It's when Nino Brown was giving away turkeys at Christmas. You see, if Nino Brown is selling crack out of the right hand and giving away turkeys in the left, then you associate him with giving. You associate him with Christmas. You associate him with charity. You associate him with helping the community. But what tends to happen, most drug companies do this. Most companies that sell all the oxycodone and everything else is killing people, they do lots and lots of charity work because in order to cleanse their brand, it's a lot like money laundering. It's really a lot like money laundering where they basically cleanse their brand by associating the negatives of their brand with something positive, so it kind of washes it away. So it's sort of like, I'm going to come to the community, we're going to make $100 million selling you Popeye's chicken, but then Popeye's chicken is going to spend $500,000 supporting local baseball teams or giving to giving scholarships. And so effectively we tend to forgive brands because they'll do something positive to kind of wash away what they did that was negative. Now let me keep going. Quote, I'm proud to lend my voice to encourage enrollment in the Hennessy Fellows Program, a new graduate program created for students who want to blaze their own trails and pursue their dreams regardless of the challenges. Quote, Hennessy's mantra is all about pushing the limits of one's potential and breaking down barriers. Never stop, never settle is more than a slogan. It's the creative engine driving our partnership and the motivational compass directing me to push for new limits every day in the studio, on the stage, and in business. Thurgood Marshall's college Fund's mission of changing the world one leader at a time is right in line with pushing those same boundaries, he said. Okay, all right, so, all this stuff, I mean, this is basically corporate, like there's a corporate communications or corporate, community relations person who wrote up a nice document to say, Hennessy slogan is this. No, Hennessy slogan, let's just be clear. I know business, I know capitalism, I know how corporations run. That's what I do, that's my specialty, right? And I can tell you, Hennessy's number one priority is not putting kids through college or never stop, never settle. Hennessy's number one priority, their slogan is get that motherfucking money. Their slogan is let's get paid, y'all. Their slogan is drink up as much as you can so that we can make sure we make our quarterly profits so our investors are happy. They don't make over $1 billion a year for nothing, right? So let's just be clear. All this stuff, honestly, is a lot of fluff, but that's what corporations do. And if people are dumb enough to fall for it, then that's why it works, right? But there is something to be said about, kind of challenging these narratives and saying, are we really doing what's best for our HBCU students by encouraging them, to drink more liquor? I don't know if that's the case. So anyway, with that said, going deeper into this, I remember when I was at Syracuse University, and I remember I had a big issue with the amount of alcohol our students used to consume. I remember Syracuse was known for drinking. Syracuse is a party school. It's a drinking school, based on what people perceive. And we even had a student who wrote a best-selling book about how much alcohol she would drink every week, and what it did for her. And what you would also see with a lot of alcohol consumption is you see a lot of sexual assaults. Most rapes on campuses involve alcohol. So, like, if your black son is at college and somebody does a Me Too on him and he gets accused of rape, I bet you anything that there's liquor involved. In fact, on a college campus, if your daughter or somebody's daughter, if there's a student on campus who's drinking and she agrees to have sex with a man while she's been drinking, she can then claim that he raped her, because when a woman's been drinking, you're not allowed to have sex with her. She's not allowed to consent. If she consents, she has no responsibility for what she chooses to do after that. That's very, very scary, because most college sex happens when people are drinking. Like, let's just be real. And so I saw a lot of problems with that. I also can say that according to the studies, I'm going to pull up a study here so you guys can just, take in this information, do what you will with this. This is from the addictioncenter.com. And according to addictioncenter.com, let me read this to you. They said alcohol kills more people than all other drugs combined. Alcohol is the third leading preventable cause of death in the United States. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism has reported that alcohol causes 88,000 deaths a year. That's directly causes 88,000 deaths a year in the United States. Worldwide, the World Health Organization attributes 2.5 million deaths per year to alcohol-related issues: kidney disease, liver disease, heart disease, whatever the case may be. What else they said? They said its negative effects are wide-ranging and can result in injuries, car accidents, violence, and sexual assault. Even with knowing this, alcohol is still more common than other drugs, and alcohol distributors and bartenders are not looked at like drug dealers who sell heroin and cocaine. Alcohol is different than other illicit substances that we know can cause overdose deaths, because alcohol can also kill people slowly by deteriorating the body. According to a study released in 2010 by a group of British scientists, alcohol was rated the most harmful drug overall, and almost 3 times as harmful as cocaine or tobacco. The ranking encouraged the scientists to say that aggressively targeting the harms of alcohol is a necessary public health strategy. What else do they say here? Let's see here. Even though it's the deadliest drug, alcohol is legal in the U.S. and Britain, as well as many other countries around the world. Let's see. There was more information here from Psychology Today. About 50% of Americans drink. Of that 50%, the majority of alcohol is consumed by the top 10%. Those heavy drinkers consume about 73 drinks per week. That means that big alcohol must sell to heavy, problematic drinkers. Their target market is a group of people who are sick and suffering. What else do they say here? Also, they did a scale, and they had a scale of which drugs were most likely to kill people. And I took some notes here to write this down. And on this scale, out of 100, they said that crack on this scale of killing people, whatever, got a score of 54. Heroin got a score of 55. Alcohol has a score of 72. So basically, the World Health Organization, a lot of scientists around the world pretty much have concluded without any sort of ambiguity here, that alcohol is the thing you got to watch out for. And it made me think about what Malcolm X said a long time ago when he said the white man will sell you the liquor bottle and then lock you up for being drunk. There are lots of black men in prison right now who committed crimes under the influence of drugs or alcohol. There are lots of black men that in fact, I remember seeing a story about a young brother, 19 years old, who was just hanging out with his boys. Now, he wasn't drinking. He actually took a hit of some weed. His friend handed him a joint, and he just smoked it. He didn't know that the joint was laced with something. And it was whatever it was laced with, it caused him to do a lot of crazy stuff that day. He carjacked somebody. He punched a lady in the face. He killed somebody. And he didn't even know he did it until the next day. And he was going to get the death penalty because of that. And so basically what I'm trying to say to you is this. Look, I can't control what Nas does. I can't control what Hennessy does. Hennessy's going to keep trying to make its money. Nas is going to keep making his money. I don't think Nas has any reason to give a shit about what I think. But what I can tell you is that if you want your son to be successful in life, or if you are a young black man who wants to be successful in life, I encourage you to either avoid or minimize your connection to any sort of mind-altering substance, because that shit will have you thinking you Superman and do some really stupid shit, and next thing you know, you're on your way to jail. There's so many stories I can tell you about men who are at the club got into a situation where somebody stepped on somebody's shoe, and because they were filled with liquor and weren't thinking about consequences, they pulled out a gun, they start blasting, the cops show up, they arrest every nigga in the room. They're always happy to arrest every black man in the vicinity, whether you did it or not. Ain't no such thing as self-defense. 90% of the time, when you're a black man who had to bust back on another black man, they were shooting at you at the club because he wanted to put his hand on your girl's booty. So what I'm telling you is at the end of the day, if you're a black man up in this mug, you got to play chess. You got to be smart. This liquor shit will fuck you up every time. The 4 things that can take a black man down. Write this down for your sons. Make sure your sons watch this video. There are 4 things. I've known a lot of men with a lot of potential who've been taken down. Ladies too. Ladies have their own issues with alcohol and things like that. Right? We know what happens with women most of the time. It's usually something related to maybe sexual assault or a drunk driving type situation. Right? But for men, the 4 things that tend to bring a black man down, a great black man down, are sex. Not being responsible with sex, either fucking everything that moves, where you catch a disease, get girls pregnant, end up, getting into trouble, getting accused or whatever. So sex, drugs just take all your money and you get locked up, or you end up doing something stupid because you're high all the time, or you lose your family because you're not dependable because you're a drug addict. Alcohol is the 3rd one. Alcohol's number 3. Alcohol, I told you guys, I just spent 20, 30 minutes explaining to you why alcohol is the most dangerous drug in the world. And gambling. Gambling is the 4th thing that could take guys down. That's where you have guys like Antoine Walker, who made $110 million, who ended up, who's basically on TV bragging about how broke he is now, or how he spent all that money, right? So these guys could have all been saved had they had good mentorship. You see, we got media out here, and I hate seeing a guy like Nas participate in this, but we got media out here that basically creates a little blueprint for black male self-destruction. They give black men instructions. If you don't want to live that long, do this, Negro. If you want your kids to hate you and not respect you, then do that, Negro. If you want to be a loser in life, then do that, Negro. If you want to stay in the unemployment line, don't pick up that fucking book. You don't want to read. Negroes shouldn't read. Negroes need to be popping bottles at the club and making it rain and shit, right? And then what they do is they celebrate in our community, in the world. They celebrate the most ignorant among us and the most intelligent among us. They hide them in the bushes, or they punish them for being too enlightened, right? An intelligent black man is more dangerous than a thug or any day of the week. An intelligent black man is more dangerous than a black man with a gun any day of the week. Do you know that I tried to go visit a brother named Mario Lloyd in prison? He was actually the father of a woman I used to date. And we were trying to help him get out of jail. And do you know that it took well over a year and a half before the Illinois federal prison system or whatever it's called, before the prison system would even allow me to visit him? I have no criminal record. There is nothing on my record that says I wasn't going to smuggle no dope in the building. I wasn't going to break him out. What was I going to do? Oh, that's right. I was going to give him the greatest weapon of all that they could use against the system, which is knowledge. See, they don't want the black man to have knowledge. They want him to have a bottle in his fucking hand. You understand? So I know this ain't popular. I know this whole black stuff gets on people's nerves. I know that it's raining on people's parade, and I know that it's messing up the party. But I'm just telling you guys, I'm not real comfortable seeing our most promising young HBCU students who are 18, 19 years old and very impressionable having liquor pushed on them by people that they admire, as if this stuff is normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be the counter voice. When the voices come out and they say, go drink, pick up the bottle, go to the club, I'm going to be the one sitting there in front of the college students saying, no, you don't have to go to the club, black man. You could go to the library instead. It's okay. Go to the library. Fulfill your destiny, black man. Go do something great, black man. You ain't got to go to the step show every single weekend or whatever it is that they got you doing. Go do something that's going to make yourself great in this world, because that's where success is that way. They're all telling you to go that way, and that's why most black men fail. That's why most black men in our community, let's just be real. Let's keep it 100. Tell me yes or no. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is anybody else in this room feeling that the black man as a collective overall is not fulfilling his potential? Does anybody else in here, give me a yes or no, if you feel in some way that the black men that you've known have come up short a little bit, haven't become who they could have been, haven't become as great as we can be? Is anybody in here? Has anybody known what it's like to be raised or mentored by a black man who let you down? Seriously. I'm talking about just somebody where you're like, damn, daddy, like, what the fuck, man? Seriously. Because I'm going to tell you about my experience. Actually, before I tell you that, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button and hit the share and subscribe button. And also, I want to make sure you guys know, if you have a black-owned business and you want it on our database, we're collecting all the black-owned businesses so we can push them out there. Go to theblackbusinesslist.com, T-H-E, that's theblackbusinesslist.com. We're also trying to push intelligent black media. We would love to have you as a patron. Please join our League of Intelligent Black People at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. So let me ask you this. Let's go back to my original question. Let me go back to my story here. You guys may or may not know this. I don't talk about it much, but if you follow me closely, you probably know this. My father that raised me at home was not my biological father. He was technically my stepfather. Now, my stepfather who raised me is not a perfect man. No parent is. But he was a sturdy man. He was very sturdy. And this is why I'm the person that I am. Because I remember when I was a kid, in contrast to having my uncle who I looked up to failing at every turn, I saw my father he drank too. I'm not, but I saw my father who was a man who came back from Vietnam with a heroin addiction. And he actually literally just kicked the addiction because he wanted to be a man. He wanted to be there for his children. So he just walked in the other direction. And I admired that. And I remember my father talking to me about things like alcohol. And I remember he was very real. Like, the reason I cuss a lot is I get that from my dad. And he would be like, we'd be in the car, he'd be like, you see that motherfucker over there? I'm like, yeah. He'd be like, yeah, well, he used to be the captain of the basketball team in high school. I'd be like, really? But he's a bum, Daddy. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, he was a man back then, but now look at him. And then my dad would be like, do you want to be like that? I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, well, then stay away from alcohol. Stay away from drugs. And those are the types of things I heard, in addition to watching my uncle, which told me all the things I didn't want to do. And so, in contrast, I did some research on my biological father. His name was Boyce, just like me. And I did not know the man very well, but I met him about 4 times in my life. And one of the things that I did in order to really understand what I might have missed, because I was like, maybe I missed something. Maybe, getting to know this guy would have been good for me. I don't know. Let me go explore. So I talked to his children. And one thing I can tell you is that without disparaging the man, because he passed not too long ago, so I'm not going to speak negative on him. But I remember how disappointed his children were. And I know he struggled with drugs and alcohol. Another black man caught with the drugs and alcohol. See, they got your ass on this drugs and alcohol. And when they start putting them damn drugs in your community with liquor on top of it, they just literally destabilize so many of your families. They destroy so many of your families. And so, I remember thinking, I wonder how the drug and alcohol addictions that he had, I wonder what role that played in his incarceration. I wonder what role that played in the fact that my sister, his daughter, has had zero respect for him. I mean, I said, tell me about what it was like to grow up with him in the house. Like, did you enjoy it? And she said, I only remember being 4 years old and saying, my dad is a bum. And it just broke my heart to hear that, because I thought, man, I can't imagine what it's like to be 4 years old and to already feel like as a 4-year-old that my daddy's a bum. At 4 years old, you're supposed to be looking up to your parents. You ain't supposed to think your daddy's a bum. And so I'm just telling you guys honest stories because I think it's important to keep it real, especially for young people who are misled by pop culture. Pop culture has you thinking that living the lit life is the way to go, that all your favorite reality show stars are the people that you want to emulate. And I can just tell you, most of these people have really terrible lives. Like, a lot of these people are hooked on all kinds of drugs and alcohol. They are this close to a prison sentence. They bankrupt. They're going through hell. They got STDs out the ass. Like, their lives are miserable. Like, they're depressed. Some of them damn near suicidal. But they got you thinking that they're living the dream life, and that ain't the dream, man. That ain't the dream. I'm just telling you. So, I'm not gonna go I'm not gonna go pick up a picket sign and protest in front of Nas's appearances to stop him from promoting liquor. I'm not going to do that, because I feel a little bit sensitive about this, because Nas is about my age, and and I just respect this guy, and I don't want him to think I'm out here trying to attack him, but really it's more so about attacking an idea. And the idea that I'm attacking is this idea that that alcohol and all this stuff is just cool and simple and it's no big deal. No, it is a very big deal. But we got drinkers in our family. Even at my wedding, we're gonna have a bar at the wedding and at the reception and all that, and I'm okay with that. So I'm not judgmental about that. But I am really here to say, especially for black men, if you really want to maximize your chances for success, I really encourage you to either minimize or eliminate alcohol from your whole life, because that stuff will not just kill you physically, but it will make you do stupid things, and it will also, if you get too carried away with it, cause your children to look at you like you ain't shit. And I'll be damned if that is ever. No man should ever feel good when his own damn kids feel like they can't even depend on him. I mean, shit, my kids that got mad at me, they've been pissed off at me before, but they've never had a time where if I said I wasn't gonna show up for something, that I didn't show up. Or if I didn't say I was gonna go get the money, I didn't go get the money. I always came through if I said I was gonna come through, and that made me very proud. And the reason that I think that way is because I saw the pain. I felt the pain that a young person goes through. I lived that pain that you feel when the man you're trying to look up to lets you down at every turn because he's in love with the fucking liquor bottle more than he loves his life and loves his family. We can't have a community built that way, and I'm just gonna say it out loud. All right, guys. So no disrespect to Nas, great rapper, great guy. Happy he's getting the money. But all money ain't good money. I don't consider Hennessy money to be good money. And the same way they don't allow you to promote cigarettes to children, I really wish we couldn't promote alcohol to college students, because I've been a college professor for 25 years and I have seen how many students' lives have been ruined over alcohol. This whole bullshit culture that you're supposed to go to college and drink till you puke every weekend has destroyed so many lives. I have seen deaths. I have seen rapes. I have seen incarcerations. I have seen all kinds of stuff go down on college campuses. And even as a college student, I was like, why in the hell do they dump this liquor idea? It's mostly white folks, because white people in Europe and shit, they just have this thing about alcohol. I was like, why in the hell do they think this is normal? This ain't normal. These problems can be avoided. It just didn't make any sense to me. So don't be afraid to go on your own path. You know, don't do stuff. And the crazy thing is, you ever go to like a campus party and you ever notice how the campus parties, it looks like half the people don't even want to be there. They all stand around holding the fucking cup and shit. You anybody know what I'm talking about? Where you sitting there and you can't even have a good conversation because the music's so damn loud and you're bored, and you did the same thing. You've seen the same fucking people that you saw the week before. Like so when I see that and I see people there and I'll be like, you really don't even want to be here. Like you're just here because you think everybody else is supposed to be here. You're here because everybody told you that this is what you're supposed to do on a Saturday night. You're not living your purpose. You're not living your passion. You're not pursuing your dream. You're sitting around doing the same shit that everybody else is doing because you don't know who you are. Nobody ever gave you the chance to figure out who you are, so you've become a zombie clone and you're copying off of everybody else. And one thing I can say is this, I was like a nerd in school. I was not the cool kid. I'm still a nerd. I just learned to own it. I'm comfortable with that. But back then I wasn't comfortable with it. But one thing I was comfortable about was I was like, I ain't doing this stupid shit. This is boring. I went to one party. I saw one party. I saw them all. It's Saturday night. Why in the hell am I going to go kick it with you, the same motherfucker I just saw yesterday, and sit around and do nothing when I can go to the library and hustle grind and study and get ready for my test and have a high GPA and go make this money and go be a successful black man in life? Like, that's what drove me. Like, that was my thinking. And it sucked because I felt like I was all by myself. I didn't have other people around me who felt that way, because all the great black people hide and they disguise themselves as fucking idiots. All the brilliant black people hide and you disguise yourselves as dumbasses so you can fit in with the fucking retarded rappers that they put on the fucking radio. Seriously, we need a new culture. We need a cultural transplant. So if you ever want to know why we're so passionate about trying to build black media and trying to change the narrative and have our own schools and all that, it's because white people got you stuck on stupid. They got you thinking that your purpose is to sit around, hold a damn liquor bottle, learn the latest dances, and serve white people, or play a fucking sport, or sit around and do nothing, or watch TV all day, or whatever. I'm telling you, if you get an inch of what I'm saying, I need you to back away from all of that, find out who you are, and pursue your purpose with relentless and fearless passion. Do not let anybody make you think something's wrong with you because you want to read a fucking book. There's nothing wrong with you. They got plenty of cultures where they want you to read books. Asian culture, they want their kids reading books. They don't want their kids sitting around talking about, no, man, I'm just chilling, dog. Where the swisher sweets at, my nigga? There's some cultures out here that don't even allow that. That's slave culture, man. Seriously. You need to find black culture and let go of that damn slave culture, because that slave culture is killing you, and it's killing killing your potential, right? So anyway, that's it. I'm going to go, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button and the share and the subscribe button. Also, last but not least, you guys know we're over in the Black Business School. So if you want to learn about finance and wealth and everything else, at least go get a free membership at theblackbusinessschool.com. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. We're doing our Byron Allen lecture, part 2, tomorrow, where I'm going to decompose and dissect the Byron Allen Breakfast Club interview and break down all the wealth lessons that you can learn actually from that interview, because he dropped some gems in that. And in fact, he dropped so many gems that I only got through 20 minutes of the interview in the last lecture. So I'm going to do another lecture where we're going to cover at least another 20 minutes and dig into it. So come over to theblackbusinessschool.com. Again, you can get started for free. And it's a university built by us, for you, for the community. Our number one challenge, our number one issue that we work to solve is the black wealth equation. What's going on with black wealth? How do we close the racial wealth gap? How do we create millionaires in the next generation? And we know how to do it. We figured out the formula. All we need y'all to do is just give it a try. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. I might be on the Black Financial Channel later on. So if you're interested in financial news from a black perspective, go to theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Also, you can follow on Instagram at the Black Financial Channel. So go check that out. We'd love your support there. Also, everybody that comes to these podcasts that watches me talk, I hope that all of you are stock market investors. So if you haven't started investing, all you got to do, download Acorns, Stash, or Robinhood, at least one of those 3 apps. Put a little money in your account and get started. That's my goal. I want everybody who listens to me to be at least a little invested in the stock market, because that's what connects your wealth to the 1%. That's what's going to put you ahead in this world. So be smart, be strong, keep it black. And once again, no disrespect to Nas. This was not an attack video. This is just me just unleashing and being honest with you guys about what I'm seeing. All right, guys. So take care. Have a good day. Love you. Talk to you soon. Peace.